Well, forget about all the crises now facing Americans. It seems that's exactly actually what the White House would like for you to do, as it reportedly makes the stunning claim that you're better off now than you were under former President Trump. This is Outnumbered. I'm Harris Faulkner, joined now by my co-host Kayleigh McEnany, Fox Business anchor Lauren Simonetti, radio host and Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall, and host of the Ben Ferguson podcast, Ben Ferguson, our guy in the middle today. The gaslighting of America just hit maybe a new level, at least Axios is reporting, on a year-end recap from the White House that reads, in spite of unprecedented crises and opposition from congressional Republicans, President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and congressional Democrats got an enormous amount done for the American people in 2021. So the two-page memo did mention crises, but failed to include inflation as one of them. And even though it's the highest in decades, they left it out. And while it touted the COVID vaccination program, it left out the surging caseload because of the Omicron variant that has led to hours-long waits at testing sites across America. It also completely ignored the crisis now unfolding at our southwest border, where apprehensions of illegal immigrants, are breaking records month after month, or gas prices, which are much higher now than they were a year ago. Now, there's some argument in the last couple of weeks they've gone back down. There's argument from the science side that that's because a surge is putting a damper on people's plans as they try to figure out what they'll need to do. And as far as the supply chain crisis, the memo claimed the White House alleviated the container ship backlog. But the supply chain issues are not all solved. Here's President Biden touting his administration's efforts.
Earlier this fall, we heard a lot of dire warnings about supply chain problems leading to a crisis around the holidays. So we acted. The much predicted crisis didn't occur.
Ben Ferguson. So if everything is actually already solved with supply chain, let's just start there. I mean, we could jump in anywhere, right? Why is the president meeting with the CEOs and working his best to work out the problems with the supply chain crisis today?
I guess so. Maybe they can give each other virtual hugs with their COVID protocols, and that'll fix everything in this country. You have a real problem when CNN writes a headline that Jimmy Carter had better ratings at the worst part of his presidency when it dealt with the economy than Joe Biden does right now. And for them to put out, and this is not anything but propaganda before the holidays, to imply that you're better off now than you were before he became president a year ago is absolute absurdity. Look at inflation. If you had made $50,000 last year, what's your buying power this year? About $45,000. If you're trying to book a plane ticket to go home for the holidays, you're paying a lot more now than you were a year ago. But it's not just that. You look at what's done with just the shutdowns, the lockdowns, the taking away of people's rights, now saying you got to have vaccine passports, and ask yourself this: if you're an American, whether it's in America or overseas, are you better off now than you were a year ago? I'd ask the Americans starting those left behind in Afghanistan. I think they'd answer the question the same way. The answer is no, and he's not fooling anybody.
Wow. Lauren.
I think it's out of touch, and quite frankly, Harris, I think it's insulting. Because what I see from other people and what I feel personally right now, Christmas time, a few days away, is I don't know if family can get a test so they can see friends and family for Christmas. And if they can, do they have an item that they can actually deliver under the tree and give to someone? Or is it an IOU for a gift you're going to get sometime, I don't know, whenever the supply chain is fixed? And you look at recent polling, it feels like deja vu 1 year later. Gallup, economic confidence, the lowest since April of 2020. That's when we were locked down. Politico and Morning Consult, 42% say the Biden administration produced less than they expected so far. So it's depressing. But you know what? I think Americans see through this, and I think we're going to just kind of go it alone, if you will. We got a consumer confidence report out this morning. I look at the business side of things, and looking forward, this report found that 6 months in the future, people say, we're done with this. We're going back on vacation. We're making plans. We've had enough.
Oh, I'm surprised it's going to take them that long. I mean, seriously, after the president said, well, if you're vaccinated and you take all these steps, A through D, don't change your holiday plans. I'm not sure that's consistent with what the scientists are saying. Look, Leslie, you and I say this whenever you're on Focus, whenever we see each other. It is confusing. We get that. It's a fluid situation. But leadership ought to be consistent.
Leadership actually is supposed to, and Donald Trump did this, and every president, Democrat or Republican, has when there is a difficult time in the country, is supposed to provide hope and optimism so that Americans don't feel despondent. You know, you see this every time there's something bad. They don't stand up there and say it's doom and gloom and the world's coming to an end, and that is not the reality. So let me, as a pessimist who loves to look at the glass half empty, provide a few half full points. Child poverty cut in half. Infrastructure has been passed on a bipartisan measure. Not only will we have repairs to our grid and to roads and bridges, but so many jobs that'll be created. We have a lower unemployment rate. We're the only G7 country in the world that showed an uptick in quarters 2, 3, and now 4, we are hoping as well. Wall Street has been doing well because the Feds say they're going to get really aggressive to increase interest rates and get inflation behind us. Look, Americans right now, I understand they're upset. And by the way, every Christmas present I bought for my family members and friends is being delivered on time. Thank you, Jeff Bezos and Amazon, except for one. So I do think that things are turning around. But it is, okay. Lauren said, how she feels. And that is very much how the American people feel. And I do think how American people feel will be portrayed differently, not just in the polls, but we'll be hearing differently in a few months.
Okay, Kayleigh
Leslie, I love you,
speak.
but in all due respect, in all due respect, it feels like putting lipstick on a pig. I mean, you talk about the unemployment rate. We're still far behind where we were pre-pandemic. So the jobs he's adding back are jobs that should already be there. We should have more jobs, if not for these onerous vaccine mandates. I mean, I looked at this list of accomplishments. It was really thin. It was only 2 pages. He's touting vaccines. Well, we can say thank you, President Trump, for that in Operation Warp Speed. He's touting the American Rescue Plan, which was supposed to have money for testing and therapeutics. Where's the testing? Where's the therapeutics? Biden never got on top of that. And you compare that to Trump. I saw this headline, Trump's first-year accomplishments compiled in shockingly long list. I mean, from Neil Gorsuch, from ISIS being on the run, from deregulation, from a booming economy, the stock market going gangbusters. I mean, you just simply can't compare these 2 presidencies and not see one as being very positive and one as being, honestly, in a tailspin downward. And the victims of it, of the Biden presidency, are the American people.
So, Kayleigh, I want to stay with you for just a second. The president yesterday, a couple of times, gave credit to, finally, and thanked the prior administration. And then President Trump came out with his statement, and he talked directly to our reporters at Fox News and said that tone is important when you are telling people what they need to do in terms of staying safe. I'm paraphrasing him a bit there. But he thanked President Biden for recognizing his contribution. Okay, I guess we should be just grateful that it only took 12 months. But my goodness gracious, the numbers of people who have died now from COVID, I mean, why didn't he think of this before? He might have needed President Trump's help.
He did think of this before, but I think Biden made a choice to put politics above all, and hitting Donald Trump was something he could not resist. But giving him credit finally, 12 months too late, I'm glad he did it, because the way you get the unvaccinated to become vaccinated is not to yell at them, as he did over the summer with a mandate saying you will pay the price, the vaccinated have a right to be mad at the unvaccinated, sowing division. That's not how you do it. I can tell you, I know unvaccinated people, they're not going to be persuaded by that. But maybe giving credit to the last administration, saying, after all, President Trump was overseeing the making of this vaccine with Operation Warp Speed. It was his administration. Maybe you should trust it. You know, this isn't a partisan vaccine. I think that messaging could have happened a little sooner. It would have gone a long way.
Harris, let's be clear. This White House just a couple of days ago. No, just a couple of days ago, this White House basically gave the unvaccinated a death wish and said from the White House, you're going to have doom and gloom because you won't comply with what we are demanding of you. And you deserve basically what you get, which is going to be death, high number of people in the hospitals, and a lot of funerals. And I'm sorry, when you speak to the American people this way, they are not going to respond and listen to anything else you or Fauci ever says.
It's so true. And I mean, really, if the hospitals are filling up, that affects everybody. If you need cancer treatment, it affects everybody. So you got to help everybody. All right, we'll move on.